What's going on, VC? Todd Guy, the Vinyl Zombie here with a video a little different than I normally do. It's a 30-day death metal challenge. It was thrown out by the Accusation Network. What the hell is his name? Matt G. Paradise. I haven't seen many other people get involved with this. You know, a lot of people actually listen to death metal all the time, so it's not really a big deal. His thing was to listen to a new album to you, a new band that you've never listened to, an album by a band you've never listened to before, an album a day for 30 days. So I know there's a ton of death metal bands I haven't listened to. I did it for 30 days. I listened to a new, to me, album by a band. Actually, a band I've never listened to. I bought a couple of these albums as well, or an album by this band, or by these bands. I'm not going to do the entire 30 days in one video. It's going to be, I'm going to break it up into 4 sections, 4 weeks. Today is day 1 through 7, the first week. 7 albums by 7 bands I have been listened to before. And a couple of these might surprise everybody because I listen to a lot of shit. But some of these bands I've never heard of, other bands I have heard of, I just never got around to listening to them. So we're just going to go into this. Before I actually go into the bands, what I did was I didn't buy all these albums. I streamed all of them. And then if I really liked it, I went and found if I could buy it somewhere. And then some of them I bought. There's 3 I bought. Still waiting for one to show up. 2 I have on cassette that I really enjoyed. So what I did was I went to freaking Wikipedia and I typed in list of death metal bands. They have a list, not a comprehensive list, mind you, because these 2 cassettes I have here aren't on the list because they're new bands. So I kind of went down the list and I looked, okay, that name looks interesting, so I clicked on that. You know how Wikipedia is, if a band did one death metal album but they weren't an actual death metal band, it was on the list. So a lot of times it was like came across as like deathcore, which isn't really death metal, but they did like a album that was kind of death metal. I skipped over those bands. Had to be strictly a type of death. Well, I guess deathcore is kind of death metal, but anyway, that's besides the point. Had to be like death metal. There are a couple of melodic death metal bands on here. I think mostly straight up old school sounding death metal is what I listen to. Some of these bands I found streaming because they just released an album the same week I started. So I was like, okay, I'll listen to this. Like this first one. The first one is, I'm not sure if I'm saying this correctly, Crisium, Krisiun, Crisium. They just released an album beginning of August, which is when I did a 30-day challenge, the whole month of August. The album was called Mortem Solus. Like I said, came out 2022. It's their 12th album, which surprised the fuck out of me. I was like, holy shit, 12 albums? So they've been going probably since, I think it said the mid-90s, late 90s or so. They're a Brazilian band. Pretty good band. I enjoyed it. Kind of noisy though. Couldn't really like hear the individual instruments, but it wasn't bad. I'm gonna attempt to put in little snippets if I can between these. So I'm gonna pause this. And that was Crisian if it didn't block me. Next up is a newer band. I think this is their first album, maybe their second. This is a band called Obscene. I like this a lot, so I bought the cassette. This is From Dead Horizon to Dead Horizon. Came out in 2022. Yeah, this is their second album. They're from Indianapolis, Indiana. You can find this on Bandcamp if you want to stream it or listen to it. I actually haven't listened to this cassette yet. Green. They have vinyl as well. I think they have a CD. You can download. You can buy the download. But I kind of wanted this cassette because I do like cassettes. It was cheaper than a freaking vinyl. So there's that one. That was the second one. That was August 2nd. August 3rd. Oh, actually, I gotta... Not Flesh Rot. This is Obscene from Dead Horizon to Dead Horizon. The third, Flesh Rot. I think there's a few bands called Flesh Rot. This is a band from the UK. This is their first album. It's called Traumatic Reconfiguration. Came out in 2010. They're on Bandcamp as well. Honestly, I don't really remember this band a lot. A lot of these bands kind of sound very similar, to me anyway. There's a few that really stuck out, like the Obscene did, and a couple other ones that we'll get to. Here's a snippet of... Fourth, another band, which I also think is on Bandcamp, Castrator, Defiled in Oblivion, 2022 came out. Possibly their first album, I think it said. It's a bunch of international people, 20 years worth of experience. They're based out of New York. They had a few songs with like spoken intros, like from movies or something. A lot of bands do that. It was pretty good. I enjoyed that. Here's a snippet of this. The next one is a band, I don't know where the hell I found these guys. Necrotum. This was August 5th. Undead Symbiosis. This came out in 2022. I believe they're also on Bandcamp. Their second album, I think they had a bunch of singles, EPs, and a couple of splits between them and some other bands. They're from Brasov, Romania. Yeah. Here's a snippet of them. I bought a cassette of as well. Inhuman Condition. I know a lot of people know this band. I've seen people talking about this. What used to be some people from Massacre, I think, and a bunch of other well-known people from like Venom, somebody from Obituary. This is Rat God from 2021, their first full length. They're from Florida, so it sounds kind of like Floridian death metal. Like a mix of Obituary and freaking a little bit of death, I think, in there. Some there's a Morbid Angel from Florida too. It sounds a little bit like Massacre. Black. Very simple J card. Great album. Their second album just came out as well. I think that's why I listened to this one. listened to both actually, but it's the first one I listened to. Just great fucking death metal right there. I'm sure most of you that listen to death metal know that's a great album. All right, last. Oh wait, I'm gonna snip it. On the 7th, the first week, I had heard of this band, never ever listened to this band. This is their 12th album from Salzburg, Austria. This is Belphegor, The Devils. Just came out. I listened to the new album, and I had to go back and listen to some of their older stuff. Why the fuck haven't I been listening to this band? What a great freaking black and death metal band they are. So good. So fucking good. Could not believe how much I enjoyed this band. It was just... I have no words. It was so fucking great. Yeah. Just check out Belphegor if you haven't. I'm sure most of you have. Like death metal fans have probably listened to Belphegor at least one album or a couple songs. But here's a snippet of that. First week of my 30-day death metal challenge. Yeah, I'm a little bit burned out on death metal at the moment. I've also been going back and kind of reacquainting myself with the earlier ones, and I'm going to go through and do the other ones just so I can kind of have a sense, see what sticks more. Because some of them are kind of not sticking because they sound similar. So look out for the other weeks in the coming weeks. So yeah, till next time, rock on.